it's so good to meet you. What's your name?
I'm Farron.
Farron. Emily, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so is Farron what you want to go by? Farron?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you, what are your preferred pronouns?
Probably she, her, and hers.
Okay, perfect. So before we get started, I kind of just want to go over informed consent. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay, and here's a copy of it, and
Okay.
you can follow along with me. So, first I just kind of wanted to talk about confidentiality and just kind of tell you that anything and everything that you say in these four walls are going to stay between me and you, with the exception of three things. In the state of Texas, I am a mandated reporter, so if I hear you say any of these three things, then I have to report them. And so the first one is if you tell me that you want to hurt yourself, if you tell me something along the lines of like you want to kill yourself, I have to report that, just because I want to keep you safe and I don't want anything like that to happen to you, and so I have to report that. And so the second thing is, if I suspect any child abuse and elder abuse, I know that you're over the age of 18, but if you tell me anything like regarding that, then I do have to report it. And then the third thing is, if you tell me that you want to hurt someone else, if you tell me, like for example, if you tell me that you want to go kill someone, like I have to report that too. So other than those three things, anything that you tell me, I will, it's going to stay between me and you. So do you have any questions about that?
Yeah, I'm on my parents' insurance still, and I was just curious. They're not really like into the idea of me going to counseling, so they're kind of against it. If they were to call, would you tell them that I was going, or like would you release information to them about it? Would they know what I was talking about?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So because you're over the age of 18, I would not disclose any information to them unless you were to sign like a HIPAA form saying that I can speak to them, then I would. But if they were to call, I would just say I can neither confirm nor deny that I'm meeting with Farron. And so the only way that they would know that I'm meeting with you is if it comes from you. But other than that, I won't disclose any information to them. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
Okay. Okay, and so the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about is our therapeutic relationships. So if if I were to see you out in public, I'm not going to acknowledge you. I'm not going to go up to you and be like, hey Farron, how are you doing? How's your weekend? Only because if you were to be with your parents that don't know that you're coming to see me, or if you were to be with your friends, I wouldn't want them to say like, Farron, who's that lady that just came up to you? Because I want to respect you as my client, and so if we're both at the grocery store and you come up to me and say like, hey Emily, how are you doing? Then of course I will acknowledge you and respond to you. I'm not just going to ignore you, but I just want you to know that if I see you in public, you don't have to worry about me coming up to you and acknowledging you if you don't want me to. And so the only way that would happen is if you acknowledge me first. Do you have any questions about that? Mm-hmm. And then the other part of that is I am your counselor, and ethical boundaries that I have to abide by, and so I'm not going to add you like on any social media, and I'm not going to we're not going to be friends outside of here, just because that's just the way that it has to be. And so do you have any questions about that? Mm-hmm. Okay, and so usually I meet with clients between 12 to 16 sessions, and so each time I meet with you, I'm going to kind of be reminding you like, hey Farron, we've met 5 times, we have 7 times, sorry, I had to do the math, 7 times left, or something like that, just so you can know that our time together is going to come to an end. And so I want you to see that coming, and for it not to catch you by surprise. Do you have any questions about that? Mm-hmm. Okay, and so I think the last part that I wanted to mention is I have a work email, and so I'm gonna. Well, it's actually listed there, and so you can go ahead and if you have any questions, I know that today's Tuesday, so we're meeting today, but for following weeks, if on the weekend you have either a crisis or you just feel the need to just you just feel the need to talk to me, then you can go ahead and email me. I can't guarantee that I will get back to you, but I will try within 24 hours unless it's the weekend. But if it were to be a Thursday, I will try to get back to you by Friday. And so that's just kind of one of those things of just like an emergency, if an emergency were to happen. Okay, so I think that is all that I have to say about informed consent. Is there any questions that you have about anything? I know that it's a lot of information, but you have a copy of it, so if you ever need to refer back to it, you have it. But is there any questions that I can answer right now, just because I know it's a lot?
Not that I can think of, no.
Okay, and if you come up with any, you can just ask me at any point in time. Okay, so, what's going on? Like, what brings you in today?
I just feel like I have been having a lot of anxiety. Sometimes I just feel like it's kind of uncontrollable, and I feel like it's kind of like impeding my ability to function in society, because I just feel like no matter what I do, like everyone is judging me, or like they're all just like watching me and paying attention to me and thinking that I'm doing something wrong or stupid, or that I'm ugly or I'm fat. They're just all looking at me. And I guess I just realized like that's probably not normal, and so I just kind of wanted to try to get some help or something, because I think I've gotten to a point where I'm just not sure that I can like be like this forever, because it's just kind of all consuming for me.
Okay. So I can see that it's like really causing a lot of just like a lot in your life, right?
Yes.
And it's just like a lot to deal with.
It's like very distressing to me. I feel like all I want is to just be normal, but I feel like I'm not normal, and there's just something wrong with me, and everyone can see it, and so it's like really, really embarrassing to me that everyone can see it, and there's nothing that I can do to fix it, because I'm just kind of weird, and people, they just look at me and they can see it, and I'm just like embarrassed of myself.
Okay, and so is there an event that happened that led you? I mean, can you I guess what I'm trying to ask is there a point in time when the anxiety, I don't want to say started, but is there a point in time where you can vividly just remember the anxiety being from 0 to how you feel now?
I feel like maybe like when I was younger, I had a little bit of anxiety, but I think it really got pretty bad whenever I first started college. I went to school out of state, and it was like a huge adjustment for me, and I feel like I spent so much of my life like before college and like in the summer like just like dreaming of what it would be like, and how I was just gonna like make all of these friends, and it was just gonna be so easy, and like my life was gonna be like what it's like in the movies, and everything was just gonna be perfect. And then I feel like I got to school, and I was just like homesick. Obviously I missed my parents, but more than that, I feel like I just like I couldn't make any friends, like no matter what I did. And my mom was always like, well, Farron, you just like need to go to like a club meeting or join a sorority or whatever. And I mean, I did all that, but I just feel like I still, like, everyone looks at me and they're just like, this girl is like so messed up, and she just like doesn't even know it. She's so weird and awkward, and like we don't want her to be in our club, or we don't want her to be in our sorority. And I just feel like everyone is just constantly judging me and looking at me, and I just feel like I don't know why I can't make friends, because I feel like I try, like I try really hard, but it just doesn't, it doesn't seem to like work for me, because I have done stuff, but it's just like, I guess I'm just too kind of like weird, and I just feel like everyone's always judging me, and something's wrong with me. Like everyone knows. It's like there's like this secret that like everyone's in on, except for me, and it's about me and how just like, I don't know, embarrassing I am as a person.
Okay, so when you are just like walking through campus, you just feel like everyone's just looking
Yeah.
at you, judging you.
Yeah,
and just
like what I'm wearing or how I'm walking or my backpack or just anything. I feel like it's also difficult because I go to like a wealthier school and I'm on a full ride scholarship, and I just feel like that's like another thing is that like everyone can tell like, oh, like she doesn't like have money, and my parents like have worked really hard to be able to like help me with some of my like book expenses, but like my family really doesn't have any money, and so it's kind of hard coming here, and I feel like everyone knows that I don't belong and I don't fit in. Like the people in my sorority, like they can just tell and they judge me. And
Okay, so can I first ask you, first off, I just want to say thank you. Like, thank you for sharing that with me. I know that probably wasn't easy for you to say those things, and so I just wanted to tell you thank you because you don't even know me, and like you told me those things, so I just want to tell you thank you. And so first I want to ask you is, let's talk a little bit about you joining your sorority, okay?
Mhm.
So can you tell me a little bit of what that process is like?
well, I didn't join initially when everyone else did because it's just kind of like a big financial investment. I had no idea until I came to college that it was so expensive to join a sorority. So I ended up joining it like in the spring as opposed to in the fall, and I just kind of feel like everyone like I go to school in the South, and like it's just like that's what people do, and so I guess I just thought that if I like gave in and joined a sorority, then maybe like my life would start to look a little normal, or I'd be able to like make friends even if I was like, I guess like paying for them like people say, you know, but it didn't work, and I still don't have any friends. In fact, I feel like it just like made me feel even more alone because I joined the sorority hoping to find people that were like me, but I feel like I just found people that are like extremely difficult or different from me, and it's just been like very hard for me because I just feel like, especially in an environment like that, like you're basically like taught to just look at people and like judge them, and it just makes me feel like uncomfortable and awkward, and I never know who I can talk to or if I'm saying or doing the right thing.
Okay, so you joined in the spring instead of the fall.
Mhm.
Okay, and can you tell me a little bit about, like, when you joined, did you have to like meet with people individually? Like, did you have to talk to them? Like, yeah, like did you have to talk to them and like get in, if that makes sense? And was
Yeah.
there other people that you were competing against and they didn't get in?
Yeah, so how it works is that you like have like one-on-one meetings with like a few people, and like basically you have to just like talk to them, but it was just like so awkward and uncomfortable because I didn't know what to talk about, and I just like knew from the moment that they looked at me that they were just like judging me and that they like didn't want me in their sorority. And to be honest, I'm really not sure how I like ended up in the sorority, because there were definitely like other people, and like some of them didn't make it because like, I don't know, they like cut people, I guess, which is just like sad. But I don't know how I ended up in it because I feel like I went to all the events and I was just so awkward, and I just like will never forget it. It was like terrible, and I didn't know what to talk about, and I was just like, wow, I'm so different from everyone else and no one is like me, and it's just, I don't know, everyone knows that I'm just like ugly and weird and awkward, and everyone can see it, and so they're just all constantly judging me, especially like at an event like that, when like the concept of the event is basically to just like judge other people, like who do we want, who do we not want.
When you got into the sorority, was there people who told you, hey Farron, when I first met you, you were so awkward, and I thought that, I mean, like when you got into the sorority, were those people that you talked to, did they ever come up to you after you got in and say like, Farron, I thought you were so awkward, I don't even know how you made it in here, and I just think you're so weird. Did they ever say stuff like that to you?
No.
No. Has anybody ever said stuff like that to you?
No.
No. Okay. And so what makes you think that about yourself?
Because I feel like I don't know, it's just like a feeling, I guess, like that I like get where I just feel like extremely awkward and uncomfortable, like I'm being judged, even if no one has ever maybe like outwardly judged me. It's just like an inner feeling or a thought, because I just feel like sometimes I like do things and then I'm just like, oh my god, like why did I do that? And then I just can't stop thinking about it, and I just like think about it like on and on, like wow, I'm like so weird, like I can't believe that I did that, or that I said that, or I just like, I don't know, it's just like I just can't really seem to stop it. But no one's ever said anything. It's just like me thinking it, because I just feel like I know it and I can feel it, and I am awkward and I do embarrassing stuff and everyone judges me.
Has anyone ever said you do embarrassing things?
No.
So I guess what I'm trying to ask you is like, what evidence do you have to, I mean, I get that you feel this way, right? Like I get that you feel embarrassed, that you do embarrassing things. I get that you feel that people look at you and judge you, but what I'm trying to ask is what evidence do you have that makes these thoughts true?
I guess the fact that I don't really have like friends, like many friends at all.
Okay.
So I feel like if I was like normal, then people would want to be friends with me. So
Okay, so let's talk about your friends. How many friends do you have?
I would say I have like 2 like pretty close friends.
Okay, 2. That's
Yeah.
good. When did you meet them?
Well, I met them like in like later on in college, and then that's one of them, and the other one I met in high school.
Okay, so let's talk about the first one that you mentioned.
Okay.
So tell me how you met them. How long have you been friends with them?
So I've been friends with my friend Courtney since, I think we met at like this event. It was like for the sorority, and she's really like the only person in the sorority that I actually know, and I feel like we met because we had both just like gotten into the sorority, and like I felt super uncomfortable, and like no one was talking to me, and then one time we just ended up like sitting next to each other, and we just kind of like, she just kind of started talking to me, and then like we started talking more, and basically I discovered that she felt the same way, like she didn't really like belong, and she was like, well, maybe I made the wrong decision, and she also understood like how I felt like everyone was just like judging me.
Okay, so she also understood your feelings
Yeah.
about that. Okay, and so that's one of your friends,
Yeah.
right? And you're still pretty close with her now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And what about your other friend? Can you talk to me a little bit about your other friend?
Yeah, so my other friend I met in high school. I used to do theater. Well, I mean, I'm a theater major now, but I used to do theater in high school, and I was like super, super into it then. And so we met in one of the plays. She just kind of like came up to me, and we just kind of started talking, and we clicked, because I felt like she also understood like how I was feeling, and I think that's really kind of, and we had like similar interests, I guess, because we were both into theater.
Okay.
So
when I just asked you what evidence do you have to support that, right? You said that because you don't have any friends, right? Because you said you don't have any friends or many friends at all. But but you do have friends, right?
I mean, I have 2 friends. It doesn't really seem like anything in comparison when you look on like Instagram, and like people are posting pictures with like 10 girls and they're like, oh, my BFFs, you know, like, so sure, like I have 2 friends, but I only have one friend that goes to college with me and the other one's back home. And I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but
have you ever been the type of person to have a lot of friends, like a big friend group, or have you been the type of person, because I feel like there's 2 types of people, right? There's that type of person that has like 10 friends, right? None of them are super close. They're not really super close to any of them, but they have a really big friend group. And then you have that other person that has 2, maybe 1 friend, but they are really close to them and they're okay with that. So what kind of person would you describe yourself as?
the smaller friend group, but I think it's hard because I've always wanted to have the experience of a bunch of friends.
Friend group?
Yeah.
Okay. And so what would you say that you were, I mean, I know that you said that you struggle to make friends, right? And you have 2 pretty close friends. So what would happen if, like, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, like, what do you feel like your biggest fear surrounding your anxiety? Like, what is your biggest fear surrounding your anxiety?
Kind of like how I said, like, the thing about there being, like, something about me, like a secret or something, and, like, everyone's in on it except for me. And I guess I just, like, you're asking me, like, what my biggest, like, anxiety, like, what I, like, stress out about the most.
Yeah, what do
Okay.
you stress out about the
Yeah,
most?
I think that would be it. Or it's just, like, I just feel like they just, like, look at me and they're like, oh, wow, this girl, she's just so ugly and so awkward and so weird. And I just feel like everyone knows it, and then I'm just, like, here, and it's just, like, really embarrassing for me, because
Okay.
I just feel like everyone, you can't hide it. It's just, like, very apparent.
And say that these people around you that you think these thoughts about you, that you're ugly, awkward, and weird, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say they did think that. What would happen then? Like,
I mean, I guess it would just kind of, like, confirm my beliefs. I guess that's really not that different than, like, because I feel like now I already, like, feel like that's happening, so, and I don't even know for sure, but if I were to find out that people really did think that, then, I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world, because I'm already, like, living my life thinking that, if that makes sense.
yeah, so because you already think that, the fact that all these thoughts, like, they were confirmed,
Yeah.
wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I already thought that,
Yeah.
so, okay. So, when you say that when you walk around school or even, like, in your sorority, I mean, walk around your campus or in your sorority, you said that everyone is judging you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do you feel like they're always judging you?
Yes, I feel like everyone is always looking at me and they're always judging me.
Okay, and always? Like, there's never been a time where you've never felt that way?
No, I guess I feel like they're just always looking at me and judging me because there's
Okay.
something wrong with me.
And what about your friends? Do you feel like, what about your friend on campus? What do you, when you feel like you're walking toward her, do you feel like, because you said everyone, right?
Yeah.
Everyone. So everyone would include your friend. It would include your mom, your dad, right? It would include all the people around you.
Yeah.
So is it really everyone that you feel is judging you, or only specific people?
I guess maybe I feel like it's everyone, but I feel like the people that maybe are closer to me in my life, it's to a lesser degree because they know me. Whereas, like, the people that, like, just like I pass on campus, they don't know me, so they're more inclined to think more negative things. Whereas, like, with the people that are close to me, like my mom or my friend, they're just thinking like, oh, like, yeah, she's kind of awkward, but I still like her. So it's not like as harsh of a judgment, but I still feel like maybe the judgment is still there a little bit.
Okay. And so, say that I was your friend, okay? Do you want me to be Courtney or your other friend?
Courtney.
Okay, Courtney. Say I was your friend Courtney, and I come to you and say, Farron, I just think that when I'm walking on campus, I just feel like everyone's looking at me, and I just feel like everyone just thinks I'm so fat and ugly and just awkward, and I just feel like I don't have any friends, and I feel like everyone's just judging me, and I just feel like everyone is just in on the secret that something is wrong with me, and I feel like if everyone just, I don't know, I just feel like everyone is just looking at me and thinking like, wow, something is just seriously wrong with this girl. So I'm your friend, and I just came to you and said that. What would you say to me?
I think I would tell you that I'm really sorry that you feel that way and that that's how you view yourself, but that's not how, like, I view you at all. And I know you said that you feel like you don't have any friends, but what about me? Like, I'm your friend, and I don't know, I feel like you're like a wonderful person, and so I don't want you to feel that way. Is there anything that I can do that can help you to feel better?
Okay, that's a really good response. I really like that. And so that's what you would tell your friend. And so how is that any different from telling that to yourself?
I mean, I guess it's not like really any different, but I guess I just feel like I can, like, with like a friend, I can see things from the outside, right? So I can like see like a bigger picture, whereas like whenever you're like living in a situation, like you like have like a strict lens,
Like
that
tunnel
you,
vision.
yeah, that you look through. And so it's easy for me to be like, Courtney, that's not true, because I can like see other people, like they're not looking at her on campus. If they are, then they're looking at her because she's so beautiful or whatever. But I feel like, I mean, like, theoretically, yeah, it should be, like, easier, or it should be easier for me to just, like, accept the advice, like, myself, or, like, accept what I'm saying about Courtney, about myself as well, but it's just kind of hard.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say I understand, because that would be taking away your feelings and making them my own, but I can see how it can be difficult to accept that, especially because when you're talking to someone, you can be like, but you are amazing, right? And you're not those things that you just described yourself as, but it's so easy for us to just say all these negative things about ourselves and believe it.
Yeah.
And so, have you ever, the only example that you've used is walking on campus. Can you think of another time when you just felt so many people just like staring, like, can you think of a specific time that you've, can you tell me a little bit about what happened?
Probably like when I was in college and we had to take like speech.
Yeah.
And so like I like went up there and I like gave my speech, and I just like everyone was just like staring at me, and I was like sweating, and I know that they were all just thinking like, wow, this girl sucks so bad, she should never give speeches, like she's terrible. And it's just like, it was just like such like a strong like panic. I just felt so much panic and just like judgment.
And do you always feel that way when you like, I mean, I know I told you to give me a specific time, but do you always feel that way when you, I mean, I know that you're still in college, so is there any time, do you always feel that way when you go up to class to give presentations?
Yes.
Have you ever, you said that you feel, right? That you feel everyone's looking at you, and you feel that everybody's thinking negative thoughts about you. Have you ever looked around to see, I mean, you feel that they're looking at you, but have you ever looked around to see if they're actually looking at you?
No, because I just kind of like focus on like one point in the wall, and then I like won't look anywhere else, because then I have to like make eye contact with people, and it's just kind of awkward. So I mean, no, I'm always like focused.
Well, how about next time that you have like a presentation for class, which I would assume is soon because
Yeah,
you
like
know in
next week,
class,
yeah.
they give a lot of
Yeah.
group presentations and stuff. How about next time when you're in class, you look around. I know that might be difficult, especially because you just kind of want to focus on that one thing and just pretend everybody's not there. But what if next time you look around and just, even if it's really brief, just to see if anybody's actually looking at you? Because I think that, I mean, I don't know, right? But what if you were to see that nobody's actually looking at you? And next time for our next session, or maybe 3 or 4 sessions from now, whenever you get the opportunity to do this, you can come in and say like, no, Emily, you were wrong. They were staring at me. Or you can say like, actually, nobody was staring at me, and like, it'll kind of maybe give you an ease in mind, especially when doing presentations, because then you can think to yourself like, nobody's actually staring at me. And I know that it still might be difficult because you're in front of so many people, but how do you feel about that?
I think I feel good about that.
Okay. Okay, so have you ever heard of self-monitoring?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's kind of like, I know that you kind of described to me a little bit about how, I mean, you said that there are times when you feel anxious, which is a lot of the time, right? And so I think something that'll help you is if I'm going to give you this little notebook, okay? And in this notebook, if you want to, and if you think it's going to be beneficial to you, because I also don't want you to do something that I'm making you do. I want you to do it only if you want to do it, of course, because it's you, not me, and I want you, if you think it's going to be helpful, I want you to do it. But it's kind of, I want you to, times of feeling really anxious, really, really anxious, I want you to write down how you're feeling. Like, just write down, you can just date it at the top and write down how you're feeling and how you're feeling and your thought process behind that. And when you come in next time, we can talk about different instances of times of when you felt really anxious and what you were thinking, and we can come up with maybe strategies to help ease your anxiety. I mean, I know that that's not going to happen overnight or even in just 1 week, but just being able to see the specific times that you just feel more anxious will help you just kind of pinpoint specific times when you feel like your anxiety is at a super high point versus like when it's not as high. And so, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
I think I feel good about it. I think I understand. I think it could be beneficial.
Okay. So I think that you can do that, and then we'll set our next meeting for next Tuesday at 5. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was really nice to meet with you, and I'm
nice
really
to meet you as well.
Thank you, and I'm really glad that you were able to talk to me, and I'm really glad that you came in, and I'm really glad. I want to thank you for everything that you shared with me, because like I said earlier, I know that it's not easy, and so I just wanted to tell you thank you.
Thank you. You did it. You did good. I'm not